Good afternoon and welcome to the Saturday Sports Special. I'm Michael Bascom, your host, as we speak with the movers and shakers of sports, the sportsmen, the sportswomen, as well as the administrators, and we even speak with the coaches, past and present, hear what they have to say. This weekend, we look at Grenada's returning to the CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament following a 10-year hiatus. Grenada appeared in back-to-back editions of the Gold Cup in 2009 and 2011, but failed to really make an impact then. However, there were many great moments for the team during that journey, and some of the current players may want to show that they deserve to play in the big league, and that's in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Well, on this week's program, we were hoping to chat with some of the team officials, including the coach, the assistant coach, the trainer, goalkeeper coach, and others who with the team in Houston, Texas. So the team is actually in Houston, Texas, and we should be linking up with the various officials. Well, the coach is Michael Finley, and the assistant coach is Anthony Nixon Modest. The goalkeeper coach is Desmond Noel, and the trainer is Jake Rennie. Well, in fact, Modest and Noel are actually veterans of the Gold Cup tournament in the United States with Modest actually as the captain of the team back then. So as indicated, both Modest and Noel, that's Desmond Noel, they are veterans of the Gold Cup. And Mike Finley, that's Michael Finley, who is Canadian and who actually has experience with the Canadian team, is with the team in Houston, Texas. Jake Rennie is also with the team. He's the trainer. So I'll be hoping to speak to them in and between. And also the president of the Grenada Football Association, Mr. Chenny Joseph, is expected to chime in at some point in time. But first, let me go over to the coach of the Grenada Senior Men's National Team, Michael Finley. Nice to see you again. How are things?
Good to see you, Michael. All good here. A little warm, but
yes, Mike. Are you there? Yeah.
Very
right. Yes, all is right. I hope all is good, and I hope all is. We having just a little slight delay in terms of the audio and video.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of the video. I'm hearing you in the terms of the audio, but I hope it improves. But as I was indicating, Mike, it's a tough situation for Grenada. But being in the Gold Cup is such an achievement. The next step is the whole aspect of the execution and the results, which everyone look forward to. But as a coach, there are certain things that you look for. It's not all the time you get the results you want, but there are certain things that as a coach you will be looking for. Tell us what it's like, Mike, in terms of getting the team ready now for such an important tournament as the Gold Cup.
Yeah, thank you again. Hello to everybody, and thank you, Michael, for having me. I mean, from a Grenadian point of view, I think it's obviously a very exciting time to be able to participate in a tournament as prestigious as the Gold Cup. Grenada has not been there since 2011, so that is a long time between competitions. I think that we have to take a moment to, congratulate the previous staff and the players who performed admirably to put the team in a position to qualify for the Gold Cup, and our job now is to build upon that success. That success will come in a number of different forms. This is a transitional period of time for Grenadian football. We've just come out of World Cup qualifying, where Unfortunately, we did not qualify for the next round in the octagonal for a number of different reasons. Obviously, we didn't win the matches we needed to win, but in terms of what we were building and what we are producing as it relates to structure and to programming, we're very happy with, and we're happy with the application and the growth of this team. It's getting younger, and it's expanding as it relates to the players that we have at our disposal. And now it's about putting ourselves in a position to learn from this experience and to compete and fight for our belief system, and hopefully be on the end of some victories. But certainly the most important thing from my perspective at this point in the program as we grow for the future is the performance and the application and the fight that the group shows in the Gold Cup.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Mike. So, but thanks for giving, and that's good of you to give credit to those who were there before. Not all the time we find, administrators and coaches and others who will at least ask now is years to ensure that the journey continues. In terms of the players you have available, Mike, what can you tell us? Do you think you have the right? Well, sometimes it's not to say the right, because a coach will always believe that they can get better players. But do you think you have a good mixture? I should say a good mixture of players for that tournament.
Yeah, we're very happy with the growth of the squad. What we were able to do since January, when I was originally appointed and accepted the appointment, is we've spent time evaluating and assessing the talent pool within Grenada, and specifically about what that talent pool looks like as it relates to the future. And then we did an assessment of the squad that was in place, and we made efforts to engage with individuals from a scouting and a player recruitment point of view. And at that moment in time, we've been able to make, I think, some strong decisions in terms of producing a group of players who are now spending time bonding and applying themselves to the game model that we're putting in place. So yeah, and we also have a naturalization program that we've instituted, where we're looking at players who potentially wish to represent Grenada, and we've been successful in selecting a group of players, 6 since I've come in, that have joined us, and I think we've become better because of it. And as I said, the squad is getting younger, which is all about our future competitions.
Yeah, well, I think that is the important part of it, and Mike, the Gold Cup itself brings the big boys to the table, the United States, Mexico, Canada, well, all the big dogs of CONCACAF, and the Grenada group in particular, which is Group D, along with Panama, and the guest team is Qatar. Qatar is the guest team, but Panama, Honduras, Panama, and Qatar is the guest group. And I mean, it's definitely a tough group, Mike. What is the thought process of the coaching staff to the players regarding the application for that game? Well, the games rather, I should say.
Yeah. You're Michael. You're definitely right. The reality is we've been drawn into an extremely difficult group, very experienced CONCACAF teams in Honduras and Panama. Honduras being a team that is consistently now, competing on the upper end of CONCACAF. When they went to the Nations League semifinals, they're in the octagonal. They're gonna compete for qualification to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, no doubt. And with Qatar as a guest, this is a team that spends an enormous amount of time together. They are all Qatari based players. Their program is incredibly well funded and incredibly well organized. Has a definite DNA feeling around the Spanish system. They have a Spanish coach. They have Spanish advisors. So they spend an enormous amount of time together, and so they work almost like a club team. And they have been very impressive in their last few games. So, yeah, very difficult group. In terms of what we tell the players is that we need to apply ourselves to the plan and the strategy that we have in place, and the coaching staff with Anthony Modeste and Jake Rennie, and as you mentioned, Desmond Noel. We have sat and studied our opponents, and we're going to apply ourselves as a team that it needs to be strategic, needs to be comfortable and confident in what we are at this moment in time, because we want to be something else in the future. So you have to go slowly, and you have to build, and you have to find those little victories in terms of what we want to be as a team, technically and tactically. So it's about patience, it's about being strategic, and it's about applying the plan. And so we want them to be positive in everything they do. We want them to play with no fear, and we want them to, as I say, we want them to compete. And because it's still 11 players versus 11 players. We still play with a round ball. We still play for 90 minutes plus a few minutes. So there are some equalization scenarios, and it's let's go out and put our best foot forward.
As Jamal Charles said, that he wants the nation to believe in them and support them. Many times, as a coach, the supporters, the spectators, the nation, they have very high expectations of the players, and they want them to win. And in some cases, they always want them to win. But do you agree with Jamal that what is important is the support and believing in the players?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you are involved with a national team program, it's essential that your supporter group is behind you. I think since my time in Grenada, I've been incredibly impressed with the support that the team has got. I think it's been very positive. As I said, we have to be realistic in terms of if we want to be, pushing against the top 10, top 12 of CONCACAF. We have to institute a certain mentality, and we have to institute a certain level of professionalism into Grenadian football, which we've begun that process. We've made great strides there. And I think what the fan base will see is they'll see a team that is organized, that is passionate about play, and they want success. And in doing so, they hope that the fans support them in that. And as I said, I've witnessed nothing but positive support from the fan base that I've encountered. You're always going to have the naysayers, Michael. You're always going to have people feeling that different players should play, or they're playing the wrong system. It's the wrong coach. It's the wrong it's the wrong striker. It's the wrong whatever. That's just football, and that's noise that comes with being at the higher end of the game, and that's what Grenada wants to be. They want to be in the game at the higher end, and we've got to take steps strategically to do that. So, but in terms of fan support, 100%. We play for them. That's why people play football. They play for the fans, and they play for the betterment of the game, and we look forward to doing them proud, and hopefully they support us all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what's the mentality like, Mike, with the guys around now? With all that's going on, the pandemic, the testing, so many things that have to be done differently now. Guys have to be very careful on where they go, what they do, all these restrictions to some extent, because you almost operating in a bubble, what's the mentality like in terms of the camp as it is?
Yeah, no, I mean, internally, we're feeling very good in terms of the group. The group is molding together well. There's no doubt. There is absolutely no doubt that this is a different world. as it relates to football. And you have to go through a number of different challenges to deliver the program and to prepare the team. We have Grenada has a number of different challenges that is different than anybody else. Access to players, travel restrictions, travel requirements. There's a number of different things that affect the preparation of the team, and all you can do is do your best, prepare accordingly. And when we have the team together, which is limited, because the reality is we, as you said, the big boys are in town, the Mexicos of the world, the United States of the world, organizations that have enormous budgets. It's a lot easier to manage and deliver programs when you have that sort of resources. And the only way that we are going to try and match those types of situations is if we have the right mentality. And just because we don't have the money that a Mexico has, it doesn't mean we can't think like a Mexico does, and we can't apply ourselves like a Mexico does. But yeah, it's a challenging time in football, but you only can deal with what's in front of you, and that's what we're doing now. The group has been great. The staff is outstanding. And one of the great benefits, Michael, that I have seen since I took this position is I selected an all Grenadian staff, right from the coaching staff all the way down to the medical staff. I didn't bring anybody with me because I felt very strongly that this is also about a Grenadian answer, and it's about Grenadian football rising and instituting a much higher standard in terms of what they're doing domestically, and also servicing their national team internationally. And I've been incredibly impressed and thankful that I've had the people around me that I have had, because they're excellent. They're all professionals and they're very good at their jobs. So that's helped alleviate and mitigate a lot of the challenges that football presents us.
Yeah, and I think also, Mike, at the end of the day, what you're doing is more or less empowering, the Grenadians, so that could be some level of continuity, and I think that to some extent is very commendable, because not all the time you get where a coach comes from the outside and then brings his entire staff, and then after have to leave, and then you basically have to start, over again. In your case, now you providing a program. Yeah,
you're 100% right, Michael. And for me, I came from a period of time when I worked in the Canadian system, where we were influenced by by the expats and groups that were not necessarily Canadian. And I noticed what happened with regards to the respect that was shown to the program. And my vision and my goal was for Grenada to be able to share the information, the expertise, the experience that I have and working with them, to then take it down to the next level in Grenada. We need to, for example, raise the standard of the Premier League in Grenada to a level that we are comfortable that the players are training and playing in is a standard-based league. Well, we're not going to do that without having the experience of what that level should look like, and that's why it's so important to have Grenadians delivering.
Okay. Well, Mike, I know you have to, move out at some point in time because it's a busy day, but just bear with me for a moment. I want to bring in the president of the Grenada Football Association, Mr. Chenny Joseph. I know he's very busy as well. And Mr. Joseph, I don't know if you heard you came in at a time when Mike was making some very important comments in terms of, Grenada do not have the sort of resources as the Americans and the Mexicans, etc. But he made some points, and I think Michael St. John was adding that same thing in terms of the mentality, the approach, the determination, the willpower, sort of. Chenny, what you hoping? I mean, you have been around for quite a while, since probably UEFA and all these things. Now it's Gold Cup and it's World Cup, What are you hoping for Grenada this time around, Chenny? I need to get your audio as well.
Hi,
Yes.
good afternoon to you, Mike, and Mike Double, or Mike and Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon to your viewers also, and those listening to your program from wherever. I will say to you that the choice of selecting Michael Finley to lead the Grenada program at this point in time was a good one. I personally believe that I am seeing a difference in the way we play football. I see a little bit more patience in the way we're doing it. But long before answering your question, what people need to recognize is what we have achieved here for this particular qualification is something that is extraordinary, but people have not yet seen it. I know Mike has not gotten the desired results he wants leading up to these games coming, but I anticipate that Grenadians will be happy after we played the first three games. And I will say to you, quarterfinal qualification would be good enough for me.
Just that.
Yeah, I don't want to be too ambitious, you know.
You have
But
Okay.
the boss. Hey, Michael, the boss has to have ambition. You know, you can't be a leader without thinking big. And
yeah,
I applaud that. We're all on the same page.
yeah,
Yeah, but I know the boss has gotten into trouble a lot for being too ambitious at times, and he has accepted that many times. Very good ambition. But sometimes people don't believe. I mean, you have to be ambitious in this world. But Chenny, no doubt, football at the level of the CONCACAF, is moving to another level, I should say. So many things have been happening in terms of football and CONCACAF. More teams getting the opportunity to play World Cup, these sort of things. More slots being available. There are more friendly international from CONCACAF region to, Europe and, these sort of teams. What you will say, and I know it's a period too also for CONCACAF in terms of Congress and all these things, Jenny, but what would you say is responsible to an extent, even though we know all that have happened with CONCACAF in some of the dark period a few years ago, but what do you think is really responsible for what we're seeing in terms of CONCACAF, the growth and development of football?
I think first of all, one might be the leadership. Without a doubt, I think Victor has taken on the mantle and he has done it well. In my own personal view, he is in fact a team leader. I think also the unity amongst the membership in a large extent has also assisted to that. But more importantly, I will say to you, his vision for, when I say his, meaning he's the leader, but the executive committee of CONCACAF, I think their vision for football development in our region has been more straightforward and one that is doable. I will also say to you that more people have been given an opportunity to participate not only on the field of play, but in all aspects of football development, whether it is administration, match officiating, the rest of it. And we are seeing that everyone is getting a chance now. The introduction of the Nations League is an example of what I'm talking about, as well as the CONCACAF U15 boys and girls tournament taking place now, as well as the introduction from next year of the CONCACAF Women's League. So these are some of the things I think is what is driving the process. And again, as I said, I believe his humility and his ability to listen to others makes you feel that he's going to take the Confederation to the next level.
Okay. I know Mike has to go in a while, Chenny, but I wanted to hear what you have to say in response to what a comment he made earlier when he said, agreeing to the fact that he did not, appointed, non-national staff, I should say, his entire staff, Grenadians, okay? And you know that, Chenny, most times there is always this issue when you have a foreign coach, that the coach wants to have a foreign staff as well, okay? And in this case, Mike decided that he wants to have a local support staff, which sometimes is rare, And his belief also is that it will help in terms of the development, the empowerment, all this human capital, etc., etc. With Mike on, Chenny, what do you want to say regarding that comment?
Well, I will start off by saying even before Mike took the job, we've had numerous conversations around his likely appointment to the position. And I must say from day one, when we had that discussion, his willingness to work with our local staff was very much important. I think, if I can recall, one of the things he said to me is that he wants, long after he's gone, that the local coaching fraternity will be in a better position than when he first came. So I am not surprised at anything he might say, because I recall those conversations we've had before. What I think has to happen in tandem with this is our local coaches also must apply themselves and try to get certification and the knowledge and experience at the highest level. One may say that, well, how can we get it and you're not appointing us? But I'll say to you, being a coach, you yourself has to put in the extra work for yourself to gain the knowledge, whether it is you identify coaching courses wherever, and if you need support, you ask for the support from the association. But it's like having a university degree. You don't rely solely on the state to provide you with such an opportunity. And I'm just hopeful that many of our coaches who might be listening will recognize that they themselves should not just be satisfied with being a club coach or a Grenada national team coach without moving ahead in terms of gaining the necessary certification and experience along the line.
Okay. Mike, you heard the president. I know you have to go again. Any final thoughts, any final words? And in summary, what we can expect for Team Grenada come their first match on Tuesday?
Yeah, no, first of all, the president is spot on as it relates to taking responsibility. You can lead a horse to water, as they say, but taking the drink is up to the horse. So we need to promote that with our coaches domestically, and we need to be very well positioned in terms of what the vision of coach education is, and the setting of standards, and that's a great challenge. But it's one we need to take on because that's the only way they are going to get better. In terms of what's coming up, no, I think you can expect a team that it's going to come in and as I say, we have had limited time together, but which is just a reality. It's not an excuse. But what we have done is we've established a mindset that they're going to come and they're going to compete and they're going to try and apply the strategies that we had, and they're going to fight for their respect within CONCACAF and from the fans of Grenada and for the entire staff and players. So we look forward to the challenge, and it's a great opportunity for us to get a good sense of where we are because we have a long road ahead. This is not just about playing Honduras on Tuesday night. This is about how we will apply ourselves come Nations League A in the near future, preparatory scenarios for the next Gold Cup in 2023 and on to World Cup qualifying 2026. And the great nations and the growth nations have long, very organized strategic plans to that. And so we are in the infancy of that, and we look forward to taking the first steps. So I appreciate your time. It's always good to see the president, and we'll see him soon. But anytime, Michael, you need a comment, reach out.
Thank you very much. And by the way, I know the weather is not too friendly in Houston. Any opportunity to get some training in today?
Yeah, we're just waiting to hear back from the CONCACAF logistics and facilities people on the conditions. The realities here are it's been very, very stormy, so fields have been flooded. And also there has been periodic thunderstorms when there's lightning. We're not allowed on the field. So, but we're looking hopefully positively to a session today. We were able to get some sessions on during the week on their artificial turf. So yeah, we're hopeful. We're praying for good weather right now.
Okay then. All right then. Thank you very much, Mike. All the best.
All right, see you soon.
Yeah. Okay then.
Everybody.
Thank you. Okay, then.
Thank you to you all, and thank you to all your listeners and their support.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then. So, President, you heard from the coach, the man at the helm, leading that Grenada team. But any memories of 2009, 2011, Chenny? There was so much expectations, I should say, for Grenada then in the Gold Cup. Their first when their inaugural in 2009 and then 2011. It wasn't what Grenada actually expected. It was a rough baptism for the Spice Boys. In their 6 matches, they were only able to score 1 goal. I think it was a Ricky Charles, if I'm not mistaken. Is it?
Clive Murray.
Oh, Clive Murray. Yeah, Clive Murray. Okay, Ricky Charles was a member. In fact, I was reading this thing where it was Ricky Charles who stole the spotlight back then. This time it will be, they're hoping it will be another Charles, Jamal Charles. That is what I was reading. He'll be carrying the Charles on his back, but it will be Jamal
So
Charles.
there won't be any Modest on the field?
No, there wouldn't be any Modest on the field. That's possibly. Yeah, but, but the important aspect, Chenny, no doubt, is that Grenada being able, as I told Mike, being on the table, being among the big boys. Sad though they didn't make it to past the qualifying round with the World Cup, basically. But it shows something that when it matters, Grenada always around. Whether it was Shell Cup in '89, then it was something recently, but there's this period. It appears with Grenada football that when it doesn't really matter, somehow Grenada shows up to the party, And I think 10 years after, there is a warm welcome for Grenada. I hope the warm welcome is not too many goals, Jenny.
I think looking back at our history, it seemed like it's every 10 years we seem to do something wonderful. I remember it was preparing for the 1982 World Cup in Spain, and Grenada went to play Guyana. Grenada was leading 2-0, and everyone was celebrating. In fact, some people stopped listening because they say it was an easy walkover for Grenada. And then when they left Guyana, the score was 5-2. And then we played here and lost again 3-1 to Guyana back then. However, fast forward 10 years later, Grenada was in the final of the Shell Cup. Another 10 years later, Grenada qualified for Gold Cup and was playing in the final of one of those Caribbean championship. And now we are here, another almost 10, 11 years later, going to the Gold Cup again. I think we have taken things for granted here in Grenada in particular. One, we have not celebrated this achievement. This is a major achievement. This is our confederation. It's similar to the Euro 2020 that's going on now. It's similar to Copa that's taking place now. And so the Gold Cup, which is our World Cup in CONCACAF, 41 nations, Grenada is among the last teams participating. You saw for yourself, Trinidad had to play to qualify. You saw Haiti had to play to qualify. Guatemala got in because now Curacao is not going to be there. And I think it is Guadeloupe. So all of these teams are superior teams to us in terms of ranking and consistency in the Gold Cup. We are still the lone country under 100,000 making an appearance in the Gold Cup. And this is our 3rd time, and there's yet to be another OECS country. Remember, there's about 11 OECS countries or 12 participated in CONCACAF competition, and we are the only one for the last 14 years, or furthermore, since the start that has been in the Gold Cup final. Now, we take that for granted. This is our, like I say again, this is our World Cup, the Confederation World Cup. and Grenada is making it. In fact, I'll just share with you a little joke. When Trinidad was playing, who Trinidad played? They won on penalty kick.
Was it French
French
Guiana?
Guiana. French Guiana. So after the result, about 3 Trinidadians reached out to me and said, you see, we qualified for the Gold Cup. What a pity Grenada didn't qualify. I said, no, we already qualified. They said, how come you qualify and you're not playing there now? I said, that's for those wanting to get into the final round, you know. And I'm serious about what I just said. And so, like I said to you, it's a major achievement. We must give credit, and I don't want us to pretend. Charlie Joseph did his work. He took us there. Shall we thank you publicly again? It's a pity, you know, time has changed and things have changed. But I expect Mike Finley to not only get Grenada scoring its second, third, or fourth goal in this Gold Cup, but I expect him to secure Grenada's first ever win or first ever draw, whichever. I might sound as a very optimistic person with regards to our participation in this Gold Cup.
Let's say ambitious.
Well, maybe. Someone said to me, if you don't have a positive mindset, nothing positive will follow you. And that's how I operate.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, Mike, and I'm being honest, as a player, no team I played against, and when I say no, none. Whether it was the Norway or the Venezuela or Jamaica or Trinidad or whoever, none of my opponents, I saw them as being superior to us once we had gone onto the field of play after the anthem. And I will say to you, we've had some good results. And it's the same approach I want our players to have at this point in time. It's 11 players you're going to be playing against, plus the one with the possession of the ball the most is likely to have a greater probability of converting. So these are some of the things I hope, and I believe strongly, mark my words, we will at least get 4 points in this round.
Before we continue on that part, I think it was nice of Mike to actually, commend whoever was there before him. In this case, it was Shari. As I told him, not many times we have people who will say thanks or commend their, predecessors, whether it's administrators or coaches or whatever, there must be someone who would have brought you to some level, brought it to some level. And it was nice of him at least to say thanks to, whoever was there before. And, but Chenny, that Group D with Panama and Honduras and guest team Qatar is no walkover.
None is walkover, and I'm being honest to you. While I speak the way I speak, let's face reality. All 3 opponents are far ahead of us in terms of their game, where they're at in football as a nation, their population size in order to choose players from, the development of the football there, even the financial resources available to them. The amount of professionals that are on the various teams that we're going to be coming up against. But it does not mean that we can't go out there and give it the best shot. And it is for that reason I am saying I still feel optimistic. I want the inspiration of the Grenada versus the USA, especially the one in Grenada, where we almost held them to a draw. 3-2 to be an inspiration for that. I want them to also play for the fans that will not be physically present, but will be there in the living rooms or in the bars or wherever, supporting them. I want them to do it for the young kids who dream of being in that same position in a few years' time. I want them to do it for those players who have passed on, who have represented Grenada at a high level but never played in a Gold Cup. These are the people I want them to do it for. I want them to do it for the entire population at home and those in the diaspora. And if not, I want them to do it for the OECS.
Mm-hmm. There is something that Mike told CONCACAF.com, which I want to share with you, where it says the Gold Cup is a great opportunity for us to assess our progress and overall program. Given the transitional position the program is in, now it's about setting out goals around our performance standards and our ability to compete at this level within CONCACAF on a consistent basis. Absolutely, we are the underdog. Frankly, I don't believe many people expect any success from us, but I like the underdog position. And unquote, that's Mike Finley speaking to CONCACAF.com. And in this preview, as you will say it, from Stars and Stripes, they basically had Grenada's odds of winning as a snowball's chance. You know, obviously that has to do all with the odds of betting and all these sort of things. But on a serious note, they were saying that, you know, tournaments are won with defending, and Grenada has quite the player, and they refer to Aaron Pierre. What have you been hearing about Aaron Pierre, Chenny?
I will say to you, Aaron is well liked by the players that are on the national team. They consider him a leader. He's well liked by his current club. The fans in particular in the UK, they see Aaron as one of their darling players. And I will say to you, from my own observation on the field of play, Aaron gives more than 100% every time. He is strong, he's sturdy, he leads from behind, he gives his all every time he goes on the field of play for club or country. And not only Aaron though, but I believe we have a very formidable defensive lineup. It's about making the right choices. It's about avoiding silly errors. And if we can just go back to those games that we played in the World Cup, two errors, unforced errors, and the two unforced errors, we lost 2-0 to El Salvador. We threw away about 4 or 5, and then we made one unforced error again against Antigua, and we lost there. And in Grenada, 2 unnecessary tactical errors cost us the game against Montserrat. While I was stunned by especially the last game's result, I will honestly admit to you, I personally find the team has been improving with each game they play. It would have been nice for them to play at least one game prior to going to the Gold Cup. That didn't happen. However, Aaron is an influencer. I expect him to have real influence on the players and on the team, and I expect him to ensure we play it safe at the back at all times.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to hear what you say, and then I will tell you what they said now. They said the Shrewsbury centre-back is excited for the competition, looking to bring a delicate touch and physical presence to the back line. He's also a dangerous presence on set pieces and can score from a distance. And you have seen that in the English league. When it comes to that, it matters. He's very dangerous in the set pieces. It's all about how they're able to use it's all about how they'll be able to use that the experience, I should say, the experience. Because Jenny, not quite a team with a lot of experienced players, I should say, and experience in terms of the competition, the Gold Cup tournament. The number of players are young, albeit there is a mixture of the overseas players and the local players. But you, and as part of the Grenada Football Association's objective in terms of getting our locally based players that sort of experience, Jenny, how you see that Gold Cup tournament will do for the confidence of these local players, not the Jamal Charles and others who have been playing in, in the other leagues, whether it's in, Central America, etc., but those who coming out of probably the Premier League and such, and to some extent their first taste of real international competition?
Well, I will say to you, if I was a player, this is how I would think. So I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. This is an opportunity. Let's call it, Simon, America Got Talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see it as an audition. It's a chance to show the rest of the world an island that is not heavily known in terms of its quality of football is going to get an opportunity to do so. I also believe there will be many, many scouts, especially in the USL and MLS, and maybe even some of the Central American countries where they may be looking to see if there's one little talent out there. If you ask me, the probability of a player being scouted and recruited, I think Grenada has the highest chance because Grenada has the least professionals from those who will be there. Almost every one of the players from almost all of the team are already involved in a professional setup. So Grenada has the greatest probability of a player making a name for himself. I will say to you, simple as it sounds, there's a lot of persons interested in our football. Our problem still remains that there is not enough video footage, whether it is of a player or of the team. So what you find happening is a lot of time when I use, for example, this past week, Mike, I chose to assist the association by just writing based on information I know of players that I wrote about. And I will hint you that at least 5 different scouts or persons with interest in football have approached me regarding these same players and others. In fact, as I speak to you here, 2 of our players who are not there are in discussions with persons in Europe regarding the possibility of seeing them at the next level. Only this morning, someone approached me, and I won't call the player name because I don't want him to be too excited about the information, so I won't mention his name. But only this morning, someone expressed an interest in one of our players to see whether or not they can use their influence to give him a shot based on his age and what is being said about him. So I say all of that to say to you, where we are not getting it right is our domestic league must be televised. Otherwise, we'll never get the chance to showcase the players we talk about. We can talk and write, Michael, as much as we want. We can pay big publishers to write as much as they want about every Grenadian footballer that we think is good. But if there is absolutely no video to show what he is doing, no scout or anyone will have an interest in that player. Jamal and Sadriel have gotten those chances because they have a good agent. Yeah? And the agent were able to sell them to people they know. But I'm saying here now, as simple things our clubs can do with the money they're receiving from GFA is to buy a very, not basic, but high quality camera that has video on it. And have a youth man or youth lady for every game position themselves to film the match. As simple as it is, one camera, still film it. There might be some footage from that they could use to highlight or promote that player. Instead, we find persons are focused on everything not related to player development. We speak a lot about club, but we don't talk about player development. And I am saying it is something that the GFA must embrace if we are going to take our players to the next level. We must bring our football in a very good venue, film all our matches, and then take excerpts from those matches and promote the players who are starring in these games?
Well, Chelly, you're the first administrator, I think, on the program who have acknowledged and spoke in depth about that, because it was something that was raised some months ago. A basketballer, in fact, was using his experience of what you just spoke about, recording, videotaping, video recording his moves on the court, training, all of that, which caught the eyes of coaches at universities, got offers, and is now playing professional basketball. He made all his way into the college, US college. So his journey actually started by putting up videos of himself training and even from school, while he was training, and he will give someone his phone and they will record him playing, and everything will be on him, all his moves, everything. And what he will do, he will put that up on social media, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, caught the eyes of, some coaches. He had offers, went on to college in the US, and then from there, he was able to get into professional teams playing. Right now, he's playing professional basketball in Europe. So it's good that you say that, and I believe that is basketball. I believe football as well has that opportunity, and probably tremendous opportunities, right? Because they have football played all over the world. There are teams, whether it's in China, for example, looking for professional players. I mean, just about, you can go on those football apps and you will see football being played almost every day. Professional football. So tremendous opportunities available.
And just to add to it quickly, players must find themselves agents.
That is, yeah. I don't think, and I'm glad you say that, because sometimes they believe that it is the
association.
The responsibility of the association to do that for them. And most times we know that, players, go out and market themselves, and that is where, the agents and things do their research and, speak to the players themselves without the involvement of the association. The association comes in when you probably inform them that this is my agent, and things like that. And I acknowledge, Chenny, that you do have to leave in a few minutes. So I want to get as much as possible in regarding CONCACAF business as well, because important enough. But even before we go into some other CONCACAF business, sad that Curacao has to leave the CONCACAF Gold Cup, albeit players tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, that one is a sad one. When I saw the news, I thought how much the dreams of some players have been shattered. To have been training for the last 9-10 months, finally making the roster, the 23-man roster. And then this dread news that someone tested positive, or you were close to someone who tested. That one was hard, and I extend my sincere sympathy to the association of Curacao, the players. I feel it for them. Words can't really tell how I imagine they can feel at this time. However, Guatemala has gotten a chance.
But yeah, they gotten a chance, Jenny, but in a situation where in a few days you have to get a team where some of the players may have gone back to their professional teams, where the coach was sacked after, it's a tough one again, yeah?
Yeah, but they got the opportunity that Curacao no longer has.
Yeah, that's true.
And Mike, as you say that, just before you continue, even though I know I have to leave shortly, again, from a Grenadian perspective, here it is, Guatemala, who is ranked higher than us, is getting through because of a health disaster or health issue relating to one of the teams. I say all of that to say that we have to start recognizing how much Grenada has done to reach this far. And I am hopeful that persons will see that we have been making strides. I don't want to be speaking about myself, but this is the second time under my presidency that Grenada has qualified for the Gold Cup. We did so in 2011, and we're doing so again. And I believe it's important to mention also, we are now in League A. That is the best 12 teams.
Wait, Chenny, you said the second time, or it should be the third?
Second time while I am
president. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I took over in 2010.
Right.
And we qualified in 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great achievement.
And we are in League A.
Oh yes,
yeah.
That's another accomplishment that people recognize. That the new structure of the CONCACAF with the Nations League and all of that, and Grenada has the game promotion.
in Grenada terms, we are in the Premier League.
Yeah, in terms of that. But Chenny, the what is important to is maintaining that a level in terms of the ranking. Grenada was once under in the top 100. Now 160. I mean.
So I can answer that quickly, Mike.
Please do.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm answering it quickly. When Grenada would, and no disrespect to where we were before, because I think we should be there and higher. But when Grenada would have qualified for the Gold Cup the first year, we would have had one national team actively in training. Today, as we speak, we have 3 girls teams in training and possibly 4 soon. We have the U15, U17, U20, and senior girls all has to practice right now. We have the U15, U17, U20, and senior men's team also in training. We now have a lot more players we are sourcing from far places, if I could say it that way. And so the resources is not always available to us to do other things, such as accept some of the invitations to play matches on FIFA match dates. Now we have set aside, this year, for example, we set aside to play a minimum of 6 games this year. But guess what? We already have 3 from the World Cup where we did not do well. And that's 3. And that in itself is going to take up almost all of the resources available to us to develop the team. What we need is more sponsors on board so that we can accept some of these additional international games. Now, it's hard for us at ranking at 160 to get the invitation of some big association without footing the bill. We are in discussions, again, you might say a bit ambitious, we are in discussions with 2 African nations on the possibility of being able to play games prior to their matches in the World Cup qualification. They're still in 2 small nations, and if that works out, hopefully we might be able to get our team there. But one of my desire is for our national team is to be able to go to Europe and play against some of the smaller nations and to serve a twofold purpose. One is to expose our players to more persons in Europe where football is being played more often and easy for them to scout. And secondly, hopefully, with that, we get persons having an interest in engaging Grenada as a worthy opponent when there's no competition.
Mm-hmm.
So in the short version to your answer is we need to be playing more games outside of just competition in order to enhance our ranking.
Yeah, and I know you have to go, but Chenny, when you're on the program some time ago, you predicted Rion Radix. Hopefully, may get on to that was a prediction, and I think I don't know if I should start believing in you now, but your prediction come true that Rion Radix named to the FIFA list of, and not just list, but the referees list for the CONCACAF Gold Cup. A great achievement, Jenny.
Massive. He's the first Grenadian
Yes.
to do so, and I want to use your forum to also extend congratulations to Mr. Radix on his personal achievement, and to all of his colleagues in Grenada who have lent him support throughout his journey. I will say to you, I would recommend to all our match officials to try and take a page from Rion Radix and to emulate him and try to see if we can have a second or third Grenadian reaching at that level. There has been no Grenadian match official, and when I say Grenadian match official, meaning officiating in GFA tournaments, that has reached the level of Rion Radix. And I will make one last prediction. Remember my words. Rion will make it to Qatar.
And when you say Qatar, for those who not paying attention, Qatar is World Cup.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
He just has to remain in that level, and I see no reason why he can't make that top set of match officials from CONCACAF region to go and represent the entire confederation. That's
I think you also alluded to the fact, Jenny, that he has the temperament, the aptitude, the qualities for that. And GFA is giving all the support to Rion as well.
And we want to give support to, we have about 5 or 6 others who are in a position to reach there at some point in time. There has to be consistency, though, in their performance in our domestic league. And again, like I say, Mike, I think whether or not clubs like it, for Grenada to be taken more seriously in terms of its football, I make a strong statement here today. The GFA Premier League should play only in the national stadium until such time that we can attract the revenue and fans that will cause us to be able to sacrifice and take it to other venues. We can play other competitions involving our Premier League teams in these other venues, but I am strongly of the opinion to raise the bar of every aspect of our game in Grenada. We should consider for the next 2 to 3 years playing all of our Premier League in one venue, which is the National Athletic Stadium.
And you can't go without I ask you, Jenny, why?
Why? One, it allows for the greatest level of organization from a GFA perspective, which gives practice to many people with regards to opportunities beyond Grenada, whether it is match commissioner, venue coordinator, security officers, medical persons, the rest of it. Secondly, it gives the players psychologically a higher feelings about the importance of the games they are playing, because now they are marching out on the field, they are walking out to the anthem, they are seeing fans well seated, they are playing in the best playing surface in Grenada. And more importantly, if we can film these games too, they know there's an opportunity for them to consistently play well, and hopefully one of them get a chance to play beyond our Premier League. These are some of the reasons. Additionally, there is a revenue opportunity for the GFA, not only from gate receipts, but there's also a revenue opportunity in terms of us being able to go to corporate Grenada and say, hey, can you join with us? Here is an opportunity for you to sponsor the tournament, to have your banners out there, for us to have player of the match, for us to have player of the week, or for us to have player of the month. You know, give special recognition to these. Also, it gives our little ball boys, as well as our U13, U15, U17 players, an opportunity to go in one venue and be able to see some of our best footballers. And these are some of the reasons. I know I could tell you a lot more, but I saw the time is 2:04 and I have to get dressed in order to head off on GFA duties elsewhere.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Chenny, but always the opportunity. I know every time I extending that invitation to you, you always willing to come on, and certainly I hope there will be a time when probably for the shorter version, the 1 hour, you'll be able to come on and we could speak much more, including some CONCACAF matters as well.
So I will say this to you. Do not call me on the 21st when you saw Grenada playing in the quarterfinal.
Yes, Mr. Joseph. I know you caught me in that one. Yeah, right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good day.
Okay, then, thank you. All folks, right. Mr. Chenny Joseph, president of Grenada Football Association, and he has to run off, no doubt. Chenny always in, always, busy on football matters, and if it's one thing, we must give him some kudos because, he's very committed to football and the development of football in Grenada, and wow. I wish we could get some of the others that can do likewise. But we want to continue with our discussion. And I was just about to go over to one, Mr. Jake Rennie, and then we also have Mr. Desmond Noel, the goalkeeper coach. So we're heading back to Houston. Where we will link up, right? So Jake Rennie and Desmond Noel are the two others we will be adding to our right. Here they are now. Those guys looking smart indeed. And Jake Rennie is no stranger to this program. He is the trainer. And then we also have Desmond Noel, the goalkeeper coach. Well, Desmond is also a veteran of the Gold Cup, but both are actually ex-national players, and it's good to see that these ex-national players are actually on the staff. Okay, but let me first go to Jake. Good afternoon to you, Jake.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. I'm just not seeing full. Your head is cut off a bit. If I can just adjust so I can see the top of those short dreads. Yes. Well, how things going, Jake?
Well, so far so good. Came in a little late, trying to settle down. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. But I spoke to we spoke to the coach earlier. That's Mike Finley, was giving us a sort of assessment of how things are going. But as a trainer, Jake, give us an assessment too of the players themselves. I know it's sort of short notice for you in terms of getting you on the program and giving that assessment, seeing as you have joined the team a bit late to an extent. But being around the team, Jake, for a while now and knowing some of the players, knowing some of the conditions to an extent, obviously, know about the Gold Cup, things like that. What are your expectations, Jake?
Well, being to the Gold Cup is a major success for the coaching staff and the team. And my expectation here is to do my best, do whatever I can do to help the team, which as far as they can. We come here to compete, not come here to back down to no other team, despite maybe the underdog. But our expectation is to play well and qualify.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's the important part. And our good friend Desmond Noel is also the goalkeeper coach. Desmond, a very important role you have as goalkeeper coach. Let me see if I can get Desmond into the picture. yeah. For those Desmond as goalkeeper coach. How important you see is your role, and guys, I think we have a little feedback. It may be on Desmond's audio, I believe, because I know Jake is wearing earpiece. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's Desmond. I'm having that feedback on, so I'll try to get that sorted out with Desmond because I think Jake has earpiece, but because Desmond doesn't have an earpiece, I think we're getting a slight feedback. Let me see if I can correct that. Yeah, it's still with Desmond. Our technical person on the ground will try to correct that with Jake. Sorry, with Desmond. We'll try to get Desmond back on camera with his audio. Let me see. Yeah, it's still hearing the feedback. Yeah. So Jake, let's get let me get right. So they're working on Desmond. To you, back to you, Jake. The players, especially the local players, and having to gel with those that come in from from overseas, as we'll say. The important part in the shortest space of time that there can be, a gel, yes, a gel. And you as a former player, you know that you would have traveled with your national team and having to gel with other players is not a situation where all the players came from a central camp for probably the last month or 2 months or whatever it is like that. But players coming from different areas and then having to gel. Your role as a trainer comes in very important because, a lot of things in play, guys coming off of other leagues, guys may not be playing, and things like that. So give us an idea of what it is you have to do from the moment time you join the team, hitting the ground running. What is your role, Jay?
Well, my role is very simple in terms of getting the players fit for any competition, and I've been doing that well with the help of the other coaches. So mostly thanks to the other coaching staff for giving me that support. In terms of gel, I think by now the players are better gel together because we've been playing in different competition recently with the same set of players. So actually the fitness now is much better than before in terms of gelling. I think they are okay now. And the good thing about it, we came to the Gold Cup at least 10 days before the tournament itself. And that's another um, advantage we have in terms of the players gelling. So gelling right now shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, that's good to know. Let me see if I can get right. I think I have Desmond back. Once his audio, just have to unmute him and he'll go to go. Wow, Desmond is looking sharp, and once his audio, I just need to for the technical person to unmute him, and that should be important, as you say, Jake, that the you know that everyone gets on the same page and buy into what the coaching staff, yourself, and the others, including Mike Finley, have to tell the players. The important aspect now, Jake, is how much the players themselves and their mentality, for executing what you are telling them. But just before Mike left on the program, he was telling us that about the conditions as well, and it appears that the weather is not cooperating. And I think speaking to Nisha Peters, who is the communications officer and with the team, she alluded to that as well. But Jake, how much you think hoping that your team will be able to get in the next few days? You did say that it was good that the team get there at least 10 days before, but how much more you hoping that the team can get in, hoping that the weather cooperate before Tuesday's game?
Yeah, I think the weather issue, we have no control over that. So we have to see how we can do other work in the gym and also in the pool for the players to maintain their fitness, and we've been doing that. We have set out programs and objectives what we want to achieve, even though the weather is not what we wanted. Um, but still, we still need to do some field work because that's where the game is being played. So it's kind of challenging, and we have no control over that. So I'm just hoping that the weather can hold up so we can get out on the field at least by this evening. So we can get the players ready because it's very important that we get the players out on the field. That's what we'll do for ICD.
Yeah. That's an important part. And Desmond Noel, goalkeeper coach. Desmond, you know, let's talk about your goalkeepers. First of all, who are the goalkeepers with the team? Normally, I think now sometimes some teams travel as many as 3 or 4 goalkeepers. Goalkeeping is a very skillful part of and very important part of a team. So let's talk a bit about your goalkeepers. Who are the goalkeepers with your team, Desmond? Oh, Desmond, I'm not hearing you. I think you have to unmute. I'm not hearing you, Desmond.
Yeah. Did you hear me now, Bascom?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yes.
The goalkeeper of the team is Jason Belfon, Trishan Thomas, and Reese Cook.
Oh, so you do have three goalkeepers on the team this time around. 3 goalkeepers. And as the goalkeeper coach, Desmond, a very important role is a specialized, role now. Back then there wasn't a goalkeeper coach per se, but now teams do have focus on the goalkeepers and the role of the goalkeeper coach. What it is you do with the goalkeepers on a usual day when they're out training? What is your role with the goalkeepers?
All right. First thing, lay out the plan. Tell them what we're going to do today. If we're doing catching today, we could cross in days we do diving, playing with the foot, and reading the game. You have to learn to read the game as a goalkeeper. You have to understand the game as a goalkeeper. And like you as a goalkeeper, you got to be comfortable with yourself. You got to be comfortable with yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself to be a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper work is one of the hardest work. And I've come to it's a transition. Saving is a transition. You train in transition. You can't give the keeper too much work. Too much work, like fold them up. They do like diving. No. You gotta be position, catching, crosses. Almost is like game you're playing.
And also working in unison with the defense line, communicating. All these things are things you have to ensure that the goalkeeper understands it well, how he works with his defense line.
In a modern football today, Bascom, the goalkeeper have to learn to play with the foot. The days are gone by. If they have keepers just saving, no. Goalkeepers don't save anymore. You have to learn to play your foot. You have to learn to read the game. You come like a sweeper keeper. You have to learn to distribute the ball properly. So it helps the defense a lot. You have to learn to talk. You talk 90 minutes in the game. You have to concentrate for 90 minutes. And sometimes beyond.
That's as you rightly said, Desmond. That is the important aspect of it. The confidence as well of the goalkeeper. You have been in the goal for many times representing Grenada, and a simple miscommunication between goalkeeper and defense could cause the team, could cause tournament, could the result, everything like that. So and just to back up on the point you made there too, people saw the important role of a goalkeeper. I think sometimes in a team they just look at it as a striker, the striker, and believe that the striker carries everything, but not knowing that the goalkeeper has a very important role to play. And you as a former goalkeeper and the goalkeeper coach, Jake as a former player himself and probably plays a little in the local league, you know that important role of a goalkeeper and the other players as well, because a goalkeeper could determine whether or not a team ends with a clean slate, and how much it looks for the team when there's a clean slate. And Jake sometimes he himself will play in the defense, the midfielder. He has interaction with the goalkeeper. Very important role of the goalkeeper. Also to Desmond, first to Jake. The goalkeepers you have now, how do you rate their competence? I mean, I'm asking the question, so just be honest with it. In terms of the competence of your goalkeepers, 3 goalkeepers in the tournament, very outstanding, I would say. Come to mind, Jason. Everyone knows about Jason at home and in Trinidad as well. But tell us something about the others who we probably don't really know much of.
All right. The other goalkeeper is Reece. He played football in England.
What's his full name?
Reece Cook.
Okay, Reece Cook. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then you have Trishon Thomas from Rangers. That is a young goalkeeper. He has 18 years. Like an 20 goalkeeper.
Wow.
Yeah. The commission is real tough. Basketball. His commission is tough. But the number one spot is real tough. It's like a headache. Like everybody fighting for one spot. Everybody fighting for that one spot.
But
yeah.
But Desmond is saying that, and I think the coach also, he also said that too. Yes, it's a tough group. Any sense of nervousness or tension among the players, Jake Rennie?
Not really. They all competing for their position. So I'm not seeing any tense. I think they want to play. They want that experience more than anything else. So in terms of them being tense, I haven't seen that from them. They're very confident, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm hearing you.
appreciate that.
You,
Go ahead.
like you're breaking up.
Okay. In and out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But what I want to do as well, Jake and Desmond, is to thank you for coming onto the program. Jake, you have been on the program before, so I appreciate that. Yeah. But it's first time for Desmond. First time for Desmond Noel. And what I gather from you, Desmond, while you have not, done a lot of interviews and things before, I appreciate your confidence, and I see you growing in confidence, and I want to encourage you to do more of that. Jake is a veteran of that. I don't have to encourage Jake. Whatever I ask Jake, Jake is available, and Jake will let me know that he's available and he's willing to speak. But it's a point that the president was making while you were off air. So I want to encourage you folks, and especially while at the tournament in the United States, when you have those opportunities to speak and to speak to the media, once it's an opportunity available to you and you're speaking within the context of what you have to do, I think you should. gives you that opportunity, boosts your confidence. It also gives you that level of exposure. And I'm not saying it because of someone who have been involved in the media for more than 30 something years, but I have seen where folks have lose opportunities, through those, media interviews, whether it's, and I've been to 2 previous CONCACAF Gold Cups, before. So I know about these things, and I want to encourage you, do not do as others and decline. And I'm saying that, and I know why I'm saying that, because at the end of the day, Jake and Desmond, there are opportunities for you. And, as Mr. Joseph was saying, not all the time the association can help, but you can help yourself. And through that, you are helping yourself. You are promoting yourself, which is important, because other people getting to hear you, getting to see you, getting to know you. And it's also important. So I really want to thank you. I want to use that opportunity to thank you for being, accepting the invitation. The coach, Mike Finley, every time I contact Mike Finley, he's willing to come on. He speaks, and he speaks with confidence. And I've seen over the period of time, I've started to speak to folks, and they have grown in confidence. Jake, you is one who I can say, and I'm using the opportunity, to say that about you, that every time I speak to you, I see how you have grown in confidence. When you just started, you didn't really want to say much, but no, and I understand that. And but over the period of time, I've seen that. I've spoken to Nisha, I've spoken to Chenny about that, I've spoken to Alan James and others about that. And I want to congratulate you for that. And I'm hoping that Desmond Noel can also do likewise, because it helps in one's development. It helps in one's confidence. And Mike Finley, for example, is fluent in terms of that. Why? Because he is accustomed to it. He has been doing it for a while. Where he was in Canada with the men's team is something almost every day. They have to speak to the media after every game. He has to face the media, face questions. And, after a while, it becomes something natural. And that is what I'm hoping, that when you get to these tournaments, it's important. It cannot be a situation where they cannot speak to someone from Grenada. The international media will come and they'll want to hear from you folks, what it is you're doing back home. The guys who are UK based, for example, may not be able to say much as what you can say about your local programs, or about a local player. So that is where folks like you and Desmond and other local officials come in. But the only how that could be possible is if you keep, getting the practice, keep getting the experience, and growing in confidence, so that when the international media comes at you, sometimes they may come a bit what you would call harsh, tough questions, etc. You will be able to handle it, and I want to thank you for that. I know Nisha has been, trying to assist, and, Nisha, my good friend, is always trying to assist. She, you quite familiar with Nisha, Jake, so I appreciate that. And I was surprised with Desmond. Certainly, I must tell you, Desmond, I'm very surprised that, you accepted it and you came on and you were speaking and you were saying what it is. And, I appreciate that. And I want to thank you both. But before you all leave, any opportunity, chance that you all may have for training today? I know when I spoke to Mike, he was not sure at that time. Do you know if there's any opportunity for training today?
Well, we're not sure as yet because of the weather.
The weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're just waiting on confirmation. Yeah. Once the weather is okay, then we could.
Okay. All right. Just before you go, let me just read a comment. Karen Batiste is saying, Desmond does an excellent job with the goalkeepers. His dedication and commitment to training and developing goalkeepers in Grenada should be highly commended. Thank you. Kyron, and I still want to make that point, and I know I asked Jake about it, but I want Jake to comment about that because Jake, for Paradise, and let's just take a little domestic look at things. A lot of the success for Paradise had to do with the goalkeeping as well. You know that, Jake. Paradise had a very good, well, I shouldn't say a good goalkeeper, but they had good goalkeepers. And it was more or less a well-balanced team. Goalkeepers, defense line, midfielders, strikers. So you know the importance of goalkeeping as well, Jake.
Yeah, well, the goalkeeper is the last line of defense.
Defense, yeah.
Anything get past the goalkeeper within the framework, it will be a goal. So the goalkeeper is very important to any team, and I think they know that for themselves. So for me, the goalkeeper, as my coaches always say, the strikers can make mistakes, the midfield can make mistakes, defenders to an extent, but the goalkeeper cannot make a mistake. So the goalkeeper is very vital to any team because he also sees the play, he also can detect the game, and because he sees the play more than any other player on the field. So and just on the comment that the guy said about Desmond Noel, I think Desmond Noel for the past 2 years is doing an excellent job with the goalkeepers in Grenada. Even sometimes he will come up to Paradise to help assist the goalkeepers, and I think he's doing a great job. I must comment him highly on what he's doing, and we need to keep it up. He's doing a very good job.
Yeah. I want to see that. I've heard that as well. And before I go over to Nisha, who is waiting with that big smile there, definitely, Jake, something you said there that I never really thought about it until you just mentioned it. That the important role of a goalkeeper in that everyone else probably could make a mistake except the goalkeeper. If the goalkeeper makes a mistake, you almost certain it's a goal. Yeah. Because the defender could make a mistake and the goalkeeper could cover up, could clean it up, right? The striker could make a mistake.
We don't want the net cover enough for the keeper.
Very much so. Yes, that's very important. I must remember that in future conversations, man, the important role of a goalkeeper. And Desmond, they said it all. Kyron said, what he had to say regarding your commitment. Jake is also saying the same thing. What it is, Desmond, rather, that gives you that sort of energy to, even though you're not, full-time goalkeeping again, you are an ex-goalkeeper, I would say, to an extent. You're now a goalkeeper coach. But what gives you that energy to always be around the goalkeepers, giving everything about it in terms of goalkeeping? You want to, whether it's in St. Andrew, you're going up to assist, wherever. What gives you that energy and commitment, Desmond?
So that's like this way. When you love something, you gotta be passionate for it. And that's my love. Training goalkeepers. I'm passionate about it. I like to help goalkeepers. Even the pandemic time, when the places locked down and the places came back, I call all goalkeepers out to train in St. Jordan. We train 3 days a week. Everybody come to train. Goalkeepers from all around Grenada come to train. And I love to see that. I love to see keepers willing to work hard, make up that smile on my face. So now I go home and study and come back again. Next day we work. Anytime you like something, put 100% in it. You go in half. Always put it in your heart and go 100%. You will see the reward from the road.
Okay. My final question to you two before I go over to Anisha. The president earlier on the program made mention of a suggestion of playing Premier League and he did say, it's an ambitious proposal, playing Premier League games at the National Stadium as it is now for until such time, okay, using all the amenities of the National Stadium in terms of crowd, teams walking out, national anthem or anthems, both football and national, and all the other amenities of the National Stadium. Do any of you guys support the statement that the Premier League in particular should be played at the National Stadium in the interim until such time?
Let me give my take on this. All right, let's go. If you want to sell the football play one place. If you want to market the players, that's one place. If you want make it global, people watch the internet, watch it, and you have to sell somebody, the football play one place, and the best of it. Yes, everybody want to play home, but they're the home fan. But going down the road, we need to play the football in the stadium. I ain't saying right now, but in the long term, the GFA and the clubs have to come together and see the best way forward to play the football in the stadium. The money get more. The sponsorship money get more, so the team get more. In that way, but the football playing in the stadium is one of the best things. Why if you put it? Experience here. I used to play football in Antigua. Antigua played the football one place, in one stadium. All the teams play in one stadium, but the money is a lot. So they have to sell the football better.
Jake, your take on that?
Well, it's a good idea, but there's always a but to it. I'm not that into it unless everything is put into place. Because remember, you're taking away from the people. That's my opinion. You're taking away the football from the people, maybe the youngsters who look up to, it's like a Jamal or a Sejel to play at home. They were able to see that. Even the locals, the fans back home. So there's a lot of things to talk about. We countryside have to travel all the way to St. George's every time. It can happen, but a lot of things are put into place in order for it to be like that. That's my intake for now. There is more, but I don't want to get into it. I just find things should be in place and give a proposal to the club. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Traveling this. Let me know what's going on, and then we take it from there.
I'm also, I was saying
Right?
the
Yeah.
GFA,
Well,
the GFA and the players, the clubs have to come together, have to meet on the table. You can't play for $30,000 and want a team play in the stadium. Paradise, that is most money for paradise. If the competition 200,000, everybody will play in the stadium. For sure. That's good. What's the benefit for the team? You must have benefit for the team. Or is that the whole team boss?
all right.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying things are to be put in place first.
Well, I think, yeah, I think, yeah, I think that's the important thing. Both of you making some place, right? Which is important. And Desmond is saying that, you cannot, have teams that, paying in excess thousands of dollars in transportation, for example, and then in return, the prize money is almost less than the cost of their transportation. So very important point. So the important takeaway there is a nice and important topic, but for discussion. And I think that is where the teams and other stakeholders should get involved. But as the president rightly said, sponsors on board could probably ease up a lot of that. If sponsors on board, it could probably answer a lot of the concerns, or solve a lot of the problem. Thank you very much, both gentlemen, once again, and please, I am supporting you, not just as part of Team Grenada, but I'm supporting in what you're doing. I want to thank you for being on the program. As I said, if there's anything I can do to assist you in the public relations, public speaking, along with Nisha, please let me do. But I think it's important that we get officials of our sports administrators, well, as in the team in that instance, so that, for example, if someone wants to speak to an official of the Grenada team and Nisha says, Jake, ABC or CBS or Sports Illustrated wants to speak or do some feature on Grenada football, you should be feeling confident to be able to sit down with a reporter and explain, football in Grenada, what it is as a former footballer, national footballer, all these sort of things. These are opportunities that normally come up during those things. So feel free, Thanks very much once again, gentlemen.
And just want to say thank you for inviting us. I appreciate
it. I appreciate that. I appreciate for accepting the offer. Thank you. Okay then.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay then. Thank you very much. Right. Yeah. So, folks, Desmond Noel, the goalkeeper coach, and Jake Rennie, the trainer of the Grenada national team, both players live in Houston, Texas. Well, joining me also from Houston, Texas, Smiley, Nisha Peters. Nisha is the communications officer with the Grenada Football Association, and she is with the team. Nisha, good afternoon to you, and tell me how it has been since you joined the team.
Afternoon, Bascom. It's been a wonderful experience so far with the team. As they say, the weather is not in our favor for the past couple of days, but it's going okay for the time.
Okay. Let me see. I think I'm just trying to fix up some audio. Yeah. I think I have you there now. Yeah. So everyone has basically arrived now. I think
Yes.
It's now just concentrated on game day, which is Tuesday.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Any logistical problems thus far, or everything is on stream?
Everything is on stream. The schedule is out every day from the coaching staff, and everything is on stream. Just making sure that all our players are well rested and they're in good health, and making sure that everybody follow the protocols, and ensuring that we get our training time. They get the time on the field, like Sheikh was saying, and prepare for our game against Honduras and all the other matches.
Okay, just to ensure, I want to make sure that folks see all your beautiful hair. So you just need to do a little, adjusted so I can see you the top of your head at least. Just a little better, although right that thing. But in terms of logistics, it's also important to know that testing and the COVID testing is an important aspect, and it appears that Grenada is not being spared. Players and all officials are tested.
Bascom, you should know CONCACAF. They have their standard, and their standard is their standard. They don't drop it for anything. And they just this morning, at 8 o'clock this morning, Houston time, all coaches, the whole coaching staff, including myself, and each and every player that is here had to be tested.
Wow. And I assume that is only today, but hopefully 24 hours before game time.
I got here on Wednesday, and by 6:30 on Thursday morning, I had to be tested. Myself, another player, and another coaching, someone is on the coaching staff. And then after game on Tuesday, we have an next testing. So it's a lot of testing. They don't make joke with that one. They want to ensure that everybody's in good health, because you don't want something that happened to the that team, is the Curacao team, it happened to any other teams.
Curacao, yeah, Curacao.
So they're not
Curacao.
dropping the ball. They're not dropping the ball for anything, and they're not dropping
Yeah, unfortunate with Curacao.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but other than that, everything is okay with our team.
Everything is fine. All the players, they're in high spirit. They're excited. They know they enjoying the environment on a whole. They're getting used to, but not getting used, but they are used to one another. Just laid back, having fun as much as they could within their rooms and everything. Turning up for training, putting out the all for training, and doing what they have to do to ensure that they stay healthy and stay fit for their game.
Yeah, I know normally it's also an opportunity for the players to gel, get to know each other, because remember, some of the players are new, some are UK based, some would have joined the team for the first time. So it's also an opportunity for them to get to know each other, right?
That is true. And what the coaching staff did is that within their schedule, they have this particular time within the day that everybody come together and they have talent nights. So they get to know one another, they have fun together, games, everything. So that's what's one of the means Coach Michael, that's one of the means he used to ensure that the players gets comfortable with one another and gets to know each other better. Not just the team, but at least everybody, the coaching staff and everybody else.
Well, talking about talent night, I'll be interested to know what some of the guys have for their talents.
They're not good singers.
I could imagine. Yeah. But so, in terms of information, give us some information in terms of the schedule for the games for Grenada. Starting on, I think it's on Tuesday, is the first game?
Yes, on Tuesday the 13th. The first game will be against Honduras. That game is at the BBV Stadium here in Texas. And then they come up on the 17th against Qatar. And then on the 21st against Panama. Just make sure I have this. Yeah. It's Qatar, Panama. Yeah.
Okay, and the
so the Panama game, that game will be in Florida, Orlando, Florida.
Okay, so the first two matches, two games will be in Houston, Texas, right? BBVA Stadium in Houston, Texas, and right. And for those who monitoring the games, will be played late evening, right? Late evening games, right?
The game starts at 9:30. That's 9:30 Houston time, which would be 10:50 local Grenada time.
Grenada time, yeah. Okay, so folks, you have to bear that Houston is actually 1 hour behind Grenada time. So those in Grenada, New York, on the East Coast, they use Central Time, which is 1 hour behind, also the same time as my current location in Minneapolis. Yeah. So the game the opening game against Honduras, then their second game is against Qatar, and the third and final game in the group stage will be against Panama. And that game will actually be played at Exploria Stadium in Orlando.
Yes,
that's also a late game. But Nisha, from the public relations point of view for Team Grenada, in terms of support and all of that, have you had any requests from public Grenadians living in the Houston area who may be, or who may want, not just Houston, but Texas, who may want to come to see Team Grenada, and what are the protocols or restrictions in terms of, fans for the stadium?
From my end, I have not gotten any requests from persons wanting to come see the game, but I do know that there's a huge fan base here in Houston, Texas, that is coming to the game. because hearing from the manager and other staff members, there are persons who want to come to the game. Persons are allowed here to come to look at the game. So I'm just going that the country's protocol standard, I'm sure that they will have to follow that protocols as well. But requests wise to come, we have not had any requests, but I know there are people out there who are coming to the game. I know there's a few persons who live in New York sometime this weekend, but this weekend coming over to see the game as well. They're just family members who's coming over to see the game of players and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Grenadians. I recall when we were in the Gold Cup was either 2009, 2011, whichever one. We went over to California, and there were Grenadians who left as far as New York, come over, and then when you get to Orlando as well, you know, there are those who will come from Miami or Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, just to see, and especially where they are allowing folks now to come out, because I've seen MLS games because where they allow fans.
The amount of replicas that we left home with to come up for fans here in Texas just to come and see the game. So I could just imagine the people like Grenadians that will be there to look at the game.
Okay, and while you are that, in case there are those who have interest, because they still have some time, it's only Saturday, and we have the matches on games on Tuesday, we have on next Saturday, and then the following Tuesday. So in case there are those who are interested in, not that you have tickets to give them, but they may want information, you know, they can contact you as well, okay?
Pardon me? Sorry, repeat that.
Yeah, I'm saying in case there are those who want information about the team, the stadium, cost of tickets, and all these sort of things, how can they get in contact with you?
That's come the last part you was sticking a bit.
Yeah, I was asking, how can they get in contact with you?
Oh, so for tickets and stuff? Or?
Well, yeah, what I'm saying, information.
Oh, you can always share my contact with them or follow me. I'm on Facebook. An email will work as well.
Or they can send a message to the GFA as well, okay?
Send a message to GFA. They will always pass it on to me because everybody's on like what I know for a fact that all hands are on deck home and here. Now, if you know anybody on the team or on the coaching staff, just reach out to them and we'll try to see how we could get the information to them as quick and accurate as possible.
Okay then, folks, so it's not that she has free tickets, it's just that she has free information. She has, yeah, I'm saying that.
Or you can always go on the CONCACAF website and the CONCACAF website. And we don't have any free tickets, so don't call me or text me back for free tickets. I can try to get the information for you and get it to you. But on CONCACAF website, you can get all our information there as well for tickets and everything.
So what Nisha has is free information, not free tickets, right? So
and hope direct to get replicas to buy.
Okay, right. So right. That's an important thing, that replicas as well for those in North America who may have interest in replicas, especially if you want to show support to your team. You can also contact Nisha. You can go up on Facebook, social media, contact the GFA. The GFA will be able to put you on to her here in the US, and you'll be able to get the necessary information. Yes, yeah. So, any other thing you want to share with us regarding Grenada's preparation?
Not really. We just do not play here. We out here. The team is putting in the time for training. They're going all out. The boys are in high spirit. They're excited to be here to represent Grenada, and they're doing all what they can and the best of their ability to stay, as I said, stay fit, stay healthy, and ensure that they put on a good game for all the games that they have to play.
Okay, then, Nisha, and one second.
The staff, I must say, a coaching staff that is dedicated and are willing to go all out for them and work with them. All we will ask for is the support in return. come out and look at the games. If you're here in Texas, if you're in Florida, come out and look at the games. If you could get it, if you could see it online, I believe Flow Sports will be bringing it. So you can always join in on Flow Sports and look at the game from home as well.
Yeah, the games will be shown in the Caribbean on Flow Sports, and I think in the US on Fox Soccer. I think on Fox Soccer in the US, and obviously the GFA Facebook page will also have little updates and things like that in terms of the team information.
Most definitely.
Right. So once again, for those who are listening, Tuesday, July 13, the Grenada versus Honduras game at the BBVA Stadium in Houston, Texas. Then a few days later, on Saturday, the 17th, Grenada versus Qatar. That's the early game in the doubleheader, also at the same venue. And then on Tuesday, the following Tuesday, July 20th, Grenada versus Panama, the first of the doubleheader as well. But that game will be at the Exploria Stadium in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
And it's the early game. Well, I should say early game. Both games probably will be played. No, Grenada will actually be in Florida.
Yes.
But the other game will be actually in Houston, Texas.
That is true.
Right. Yeah. Okay then. And it's Group D. The top two teams, I think, move into the next round.
Yes.
Of qualifying, and it's the hope, Grenada's hope, that they could be one of the two teams.
Yeah, we belong in this Gold Cup, Michael, so we're going all out for it.
Well, I'm hoping that as well. There's the hope of every Grenadian that, Grenada could give it their all. And I think even if they don't make it to the next round, people will want to appreciate their all, that commitment to go. Thank you very much, Nisha. Thank you also for assisting me, and thank you for supporting these guys, Jake and Desmond. And I hope you can give them all the support.
Just to go on, sorry, but with Desmond, I must give him all kudos. Trust me, he has come a long way, as you stated, and the dedication he has towards his goalkeeper, it's unbelievable, and I appreciate that of him, and I really thank him for doing this. I thought he would have chickened out on me. I really thought, but he did not. And he came on and he held his head up high and he pulled up his end and he did well, and I appreciate that very much of him.
Yeah.
Jake is a veteran. Jake is used to this, so I also thank him as well. Also, Coach Mike, and also President Kenny for always being. He's a president that is dedicated to this, and I'm give him hats off to him for always willing and able to be on and to talk football, because anytime it's on, he's always talking football. So thanks as well.
And unfortunately, he had to leave us early because he had to go and do football business as well.
I believe he'll be joining us soon, though. So hopefully,
right. Okay.
Next week we'll be with him.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Nisha, for coordinating that and giving us your insight as well. And I want to wish you and all the best in Houston, Texas. Take care.
Thank you very much, Michael.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it as well. Take care.
Okay, right. Okay. So, folks, that's Nisha Peters, Communications Officer with the Grenada Football Association, and she's also live with the team in Houston, Texas, and she will be giving us all the updates on the Grenada's participation in the Gold Cup tournament, Grenada's third time at the Gold Cup, and no doubt we want to wish the team all the best. I assume all the supporters will want to wish the Grenada team all the best and be expecting all the best from Team Grenada. If you in the Texas area, Houston in particular, well, Texas is a big state, but you have the time, you can go out and support Grenada versus Honduras on Tuesday night in Houston, Texas. And then on Saturday, the 17th, Grenada versus Qatar. That's also a night game. And then down to Orlando, Florida on Tuesday, July 20th, Grenada versus Panama. Those are important dates for football for Grenada. And for those who support Team Grenada, the Spice Boys, you have the opportunity to go out and support. If you need more information, you can contact the GFA. You can also go up on CONCACAF.com on the Gold Cup page, and you can get information regarding tickets. You can buy your tickets. You can also get information as to, probably from the GFA in terms of hotels, availability, proximity within, if you want to be close to the team and these sort of things, you can also get that information. Thank you once again to the president of the Grenada Football Association, Mr. Chenny Joseph, for being with us earlier. Also to Mr. Mike Finley. That's Michael Finley. He is the coach of the Grenada Senior Men's National Team, and also to goalkeeper coach Desmond Noel, and the trainer, Mr. Jake Rennie, and Nisha Peters, who is the communications officer with the Grenada Football Association. Thank you very much for being part of our program, and I want to invite you to be with us again on Thursday for another in our Talk Sports program. I am Michael Bascom. Have a pleasant weekend.